What's going on, guys? Right here today, and today we're going to be doing a reaction to a fanfiction that I narrated in. This is for Autism Awareness Month. I'm guessing April is the month for autism awareness. This is called Comfort Zones. Now, let me explain. I know some of you may have seen me in the actual premiere chat last night. I heard some of it, but most of the time I was just typing in the live chat. I wasn't really paying attention because I didn't want to, I didn't want to get the full perspective. Of course I read, but I read over it, so I'm gonna know what it's about anyways. So yeah, this one really hits home a lot. Hey Ribon. By the way, this is by Ribon Chan. And this is just such a touching story. I mean, it touches on a very, very very tender subject. If you're autistic, you know what this means. So I know what to expect, but I don't know what to expect at the same time. So without further ado, let's just get into this. It's about 26 minutes long. So 3, 2, 1, go. I don't know if that can be heard.
Pinkie Pie was happily humming to herself while skipping to the Ponyville marketplace.
Man, I may have to turn that
It was
up.
a bright blue sky Friday, and the
In
Ponyville
editing.
clock tower was about to strike at 12 o'clock. The pink party pony was super duper excited for her
Wow, it's
errand.
really hard for me to hear that.
She was especially assigned by Mrs. Cake to fetch her pints of blueberries. Mrs. Cake needed the blueberries to make her special double blueberry surprise pie. Mrs. Cake's blueberry pies had twice the amount of regular
Okay,
blueberry pies, and the
I
surprise
kind of
pie
see an issue
for
already,
each pony.
but
Each
I can
customer
understand the
tasted
preference
different
of the
and
person
tasted
who
nice, so no
is
two
the
pies
editor,
were the
which
same.
the editor for this was
Pinkie Pie
Ribon.
loved Mrs. Cake's pies so much that she had to sing about them
But
out loud at that very moment.
yeah, I'll pause it. Basically, the pausing in between, like every sentence, it kind of doesn't need to be there, but whatever your preference is, go ahead, do it. I really don't care, but it's just a tip.
Mrs. Cake, oh how I can't wait to taste the doubleness, the gooiness, the sweetness, the zaniness, and your double blueberry surprise pie. Woohoo!
I kind of heard,
Silly Mare added a sweet giggle at the end.
I kind of hear a little bit of rarity in there too. Even though Ribon says she can't voice rarity, she can. Sorry, Ribon. I'm throwing you under the bus.
That she can easily maneuver around them. She used her flexibility and quick thinking to dance around each busy pony. With a hop, skip, and a jump, she arrived at the quaint stand selling berries.
That was a tough line.
The stand had all kinds of berries.
Because when I recorded this was like right after that narration live stream that I did with her, and afterwards she said that she had a story that she needed a narrator for, so I offered, and then I got to recording it immediately. Probably not a good idea to do that at night, but sounds good.
She wished the blueberry-colored pony a wonderful day and skipped away from the stand. She happily carried the large grocery bag in her teeth, but her skipping stopped when she heard a loud, painful moan.
Also, quick note. I don't know the full impact of autism. I truly don't know autism all that well. I'm epileptic, and they say epilepsy is like the sister of autism. I really don't know what autism is because there's so many different types of autism. So I don't really know autism that well. So I don't know fully how autism is portrayed, what the effects are, how to tell if someone is autistic. So I'm just going to alert you right now. So the moans, I really don't know what that represents. I think this is mostly from Ribon's point of view because she is autistic, and as you'll hear towards the end, because I've seen the end, you'll get it.
Pinky turned her head towards the sound and saw a small crowd circling at the center of
Also,
the
Scribbler plays in this as well.
She slowly walked towards the crowd to see what every pony was staring at. She climbed to
That
the
filly in
very
that
tips of
freaking
her
picture is
hooves to get a
adorable.
peek over every pony's heads.
That's
She
Roseluck's
saw
kid.
Roseluck and the Earth Pony filly. The filly had a dark rosy coat with a pink and white striped mane. Her eyes were like green eyes, a beautiful color in Pinky's opinion. The filly still didn't have her kitty mark yet, but that was normal for some pony her age. The cute little filly even had an adorable small light green bow on her neck and near her right ear. The filly was on the ground, rocking back and forth with her front hooves covering her ears. Her eyes were wide and full of fear and pain. She was the source of the loud moans. Meanwhile, the cream-colored mare Roseluck was trying to comfort and calm down the filly. She held her forelegs in the air surrounding the filly, but she never wrapped them around the filly's shoulder. Roseluck positioned herself in a way that tried to hide the filly from the view of the crowd staring at them. She tried to not look at the circle of ponies surrounding them, but she focused on the poor filly on the ground. Roseluck looked flustered, nervous, and worried. She kept whispering to the filly.
Shh, Beauheart, it's okay. It's okay,
Scribbler.
sweetie.
When Pinkie Pie heard Roseluck's quiet pleas to the filly, she knew that the filly was her daughter. Her heart dropped. It began to break and ache inside of her chest.
Not really sure.
Hey, every pony!
Roseluck lifted her eyes away
That's
from
Ribon.
Beauheart and saw Pinkie standing on her hind legs.
I could hear a little bit of Dash in that, but it's alright. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Only her back and her forelegs spread out to her sides.
Even though in Interlude, her freaking Pinky was like ear-shattering,
Leave
but
this filly alone
it's alright.
and go back to your day.
She didn't edit it. It was Scribbler who edited it.
Roseluck couldn't believe
Oh my
her
god, that's
own
hard to say.
ears.
That did.
This pony was standing up for her daughter. She turned her gaze past Pinkie and witnessed the crowd sharing the same shocked expression.
This hits home for me like you wouldn't
Go on,
believe.
then.
I may have epilepsy,
Ponies in the crowd
but this does
carefully
hit home.
walked away from Pinkie Pie and separated
I
into
haven't been in this
different
situation necessarily.
directions. Gave the small filly one last
You know, I'm
curious
not good with
look before
large
leaving.
crowds and do get nervous.
When the crowd was gone, Pinkie Pie returned
Well, that's
back
always
on
been
all
me.
fours and smiled at Roseluck and her filly. Sweet little Beauheart was still rocking back and forth on the ground, still moaning in pain and holding her front hooves tightly against her ears. Roseluck was in awe of the poofy-haired pony in front of her.
Poofy-haired
She
pony.
never thought that the party pony of Ponyville would not only take notice of her and Beauheart, but also express serious frustration and disappointment towards other ponies.
Hey there, sweetie.
Pinkie Pie whispered. She knelt down before Beauheart and had a very soft smile on her face.
Your mom's all right. Everything's okay.
She whispered once more. Pinkie Pie reached behind her back and pulled out a light blue chest. Roseluck looked all around the pink pony to see where the chest came from. She didn't pull it out of the grocery bag.
Sorry.
Where did it come from?
Good question.
Roseluck pondered
Don't
to
question
herself.
Pinkie Pie, it doesn't make any sense.
Pinkie gently opened the chest and let out a beautiful lullaby-like melody. Beauheart's ears perked towards the sound, and her moans slowly became softer. The pink party pony closed her eyes, swayed her head to the music, and sang like a mother singing to her foal. A tone that Roseluck didn't expect out of the element of laughter.
Music calms you to a state of comfort. Comfort zones. Dear Rose, you pun that. Also, beautiful singing here, Ribon. I honestly did not know that you could sing.
Beauheart's moans disappeared into the music. Her unsettled rocking body stopped rocking. She brought her head closer to Pinkie Pie and her
This I do know about autism. Sometimes things like
Rose
music
looked across her
can
Pie,
calm one from
not
a very
only
distressed
Pie's
state
softly
of mind
singing voice,
to a much
but
more
also how she
calmer
was calming
state.
down Bohart.
Like in this case, it's calming her to where she's stable again.
Rose thought to herself.
Smiles to cure the
And if this is a custom-made melody, I'm not sure if it is or not. I would think it is because it's custom.
life will always be happily ever
And then again, Lost in Mag made a reversion, so I don't know.
Nevermore will the storms come to destroy your little world. Nevermore will the waters rise till the mountains no longer touch the skies. Stars and moons and air balloons, fluffy clouds to the horizon.
Also, this is a perfect representation of Pinkie Pie. Like, she can be crazy and party pony, but she can also be calm and
Pinkie
comforting.
closed the chest quietly and handed it to Bohart with great care. The little filly immediately started petting the chest and stared at all the small wooden carvings on its top. Pinkie smiled sweetly and sincerely at her, feeling her heart so light yet warm at the same time. Meanwhile, Rose was at a loss for words. For once, during her years at Ponyville, she had found one pony who understood without having her say a word. Rose felt like she could cry, but she couldn't. If she let every kind gesture get that kind of reaction from her, she would be a weeping mess.
True.
Do you guys want to have a snack break with me at Sugar Cube Corner?
Sure.
Pinkie Pie asked with a grin on her face.
Until that was in the video or if that was outside. Because the birds are back.
Rose
Lovely.
witnessed Pinkie devour the thick, oozing white piece of blueberry pie across from her in the booth.
That was a tough line for
She
some
was thankful
reason.
for Pinkie Pie inviting them to Sugar Cube Corner for a bite to eat. At first, Rose thought that the corner would be busy, just like the marketplace.
Sorry, it stuttered
the
a little
shop
bit.
At the moment was dealing
Phone
with
tends
their
to do that
usual
anymore.
Small group of Friday customers. These customers are calm, collective types that like to come to Sugar Cube for some good coffee and a quiet place to read. Rose looked over to her daughter and saw her coloring in her color book in peace. She smiled blissfully at her. She loved how
Rose
Bo
like
was
having a
still
daughter.
clicking
That's
that cute
really
little music box
interesting.
while doodling.
So it is alternate
She
universe,
loved how
but it is
calm and
good.
happy her little sweet
Very
was.
good.
She truly was a beautiful and thoughtful daughter.
God.
Then, Rose turned her gaze back on the special pie that her new friend ordered for her. After seeing Pinkie swallow her slice whole, she suddenly lost her appetite. She hoped that she would be able to regain it soon. When the Rosie Mare turned her attention back at the party pony, she was reminded of all the questions swirling in her mind. She didn't know where to start and what to say. And yet, she needed to get it off
That
her
hits
chest.
home right there.
Miss Pie?
Right there you can tell it's definitely Scribbler.
Said Pinkie, with her mouth full of blueberries and pie crust.
May I ask you something?
Pinkie Pie swallowed with a big gulp, then gleamed a smile at her new friend.
Sure thing. Oh, you can call me Pinkie, by the way.
Oh, okay. Pinkie?
Makes sense because
Rose
it's alternate
cleared her
universe.
throat before continuing
So
with
maybe
her
Rose Luck
question.
didn't know who she was.
How come you stood up for Bo?
That's easy. That crowd was making her sad. The only way to make her smile
Pressure.
again was to make them go away.
Large crowds
Rose chuckled.
cause pressure and
Well, you
stress.
certainly did a good job of doing that.
Pinky giggled.
Thanks.
Rose smiled warmly at Pinky before asking another question.
How did you know how to calm down, Bo?
Well, listening to music can always be very calming, especially for
True.
people with autism.
Rose's eyes widened. She leaned closer to Pinky and quickly
That's
asked,
100% true.
How did you know that Bo has autism?
Because I have autism.
She joyfully exclaimed.
I remember when that was a thing in the fandom.
Rose couldn't comprehend what
People
she
were
had just
speculating
heard.
if Pinky was autistic
The most energetic
because of her way of,
sociable pony and pony
because of the way she
the
acts.
hero that helped save Equestria time after time has autism? She continued to explain.
To be more precise, I have Asperger's.
That I don't know
Rose
anything
uttered in
about.
disbelief.
You do?
Sure I do. For as long as I can remember.
No offense, but you don't act like some pony with Asperger's.
Maybe not on the outside,
On the
but if
inside.
you look closely...
Sorry about that.
Pinky pulled out a large magnifying glass from behind her back and brought it close against Rose's nose.
Forgot to shut off my notifications.
You might just see the signs.
Rose was grateful that she put the magnifying glass away once she made her point.
That
Rose felt
hits
like
home.
her personal space was being invaded. Just a little. Then the Rosy Mare noticed that Pinky's hyper smile was gently softening and her face was becoming more reflective. The party pony's
my
eyes
God,
were
go
focused more
away.
on Bowheart. The dark rosy filly was
Ree.
still fixated on her coloring book and spreading color within its pages. Pinkie Pie returned her attention back on Roseluck and explained.
I wasn't always like this. Long ago, I was just like Bo. Sure, I was able to talk and everything, but I too was always in a world of my own.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't have any friends. I wasn't interested in having friends. All that I wanted to do was get lost in the rock fields and avoid socializing altogether. Luckily, I had 3 amazing sisters who always wanted to play with me. Sisters who always wanted to have fun
That
with me.
hits so hard for me.
Especially Maud.
It does.
They made sure
That
that
is
I didn't
so
get lost in
relevant.
my own world.
It's unbelievable.
However, I needed more than my sisters to get out of my autistic habits.
Mhm.
One day, a big, bright, beautiful rainbow appeared out of nowhere. Right in the
Rainbow
middle
Dash
of
is
the
Sonic
field.
Rainbow.
When I saw it, I couldn't help but smile. That rainbow was better than being lost in my imagination. It reminded me of those happy parties
Ouch.
and stories that my sister Maud used to read to me about. All that I wanted to do was make ponies I loved happy. Just like I was when I saw that rainbow.
Ouch.
So, I decided to throw a party for my parents and my sisters. And it made them so happy. Seeing their smiles made me hungry for more smiles. But to get more smiles, I had to get to know other ponies.
True.
I had to invite ponies from my school in order to have a party. It was hard at first, but once I got one filly to say yes, inviting the other ponies didn't seem so bad.
Yep.
That party led one party, then one party became 2 parties, and 2
Guys,
parties
you gotta
became
expand your
3
horizons if you want
parties.
to succeed.
Before I knew it, I was throwing a party every week. It was so awesome! Yet it was really stressful too. With the loud music,
Mm-hmm.
the ponies bumping into me all the time,
Mm-hmm.
and the swirling colors everywhere.
Yep.
But each party helped me build my tolerance to things that used to drive me crazy. What helped me build my tolerance and my social skills even more were my friends.
Mm-hmm.
Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy, Applejack, Rarity, and of course Twilight are always so patient with me. They're not afraid to be honest with me. They're not afraid to teach me whenever I do something wrong. But most of all, they see me, not my autism.
Hmm.
Because they only see me. They present
Wow.
situations or bring me into other activities that take me out of my comfort zones. And when I get out of comfort zones, I get better. But in order to get out of my comfort zones, I had to personally take the first step.
She reached out to Rose's hoof and sweetly continued with,
I guess what I'm trying to say is, the first step starts with Bohart. And you. You're doing the right things. Taking Bo out to places like the market is good for her. I know that it's hard to do. Believe me. But you need to know that it's worth it.
Mm-hmm.
Please, continue to have fun with her and visit new places with her. Please encourage her to get out of her comfort zones and accept change.
Yep.
Just like me, Bo will always have autism.
Yep.
But that doesn't mean that she can't be a part of the world and become the best she can be. So
Oh,
please,
damn.
don't give up hope.
That
Rose
hurts.
could feel all of
It doesn't
the
hurt in a
emotions
bad
rushing
way.
all
It
at once.
hits hard.
Joy, hope,
I can understand
sadness,
every bit of this.
pain, comfort, and love.
Every bit.
She never thought that she could find a pony that
Oh, dear.
could make her feel this way. For so long, she felt like her and Bo were all alone. No pony cared. No pony could help them. She felt like she was alone. But now, she has a friend who sees them for who they truly are. She has a friend who has felt all of the things she has and more. She has a friend who believes her. She has a friend who believes in Bo. And best of all, Bo has a friend too.
Mm-hmm.
Rose couldn't hold it in. She let herself cry.
Let it
She
go.
cried tears of
Let
great
it go.
happiness and of great relief. She cried into Pinky's hoof, and she didn't care if the other
Yeah.
ponies saw her. Pinkie Pie smiled at Rose. She stepped out of the booth to give both Rose and Bohart a great big hug. Rose sobbed even more once she grabbed hold of Pinky's foreleg. Bohart continued her creative activity on the table without looking at the ponies that
It's
were
the best thing you can do. To hold it in.
Thank you, Pinkie Pie.
Wow. Wow. This story hits home for me so much. You guys don't even know. It does. A lot. Oh boy. I'm aware there's something at the end. This koi fish pony, well done. Just well done. I may be an epileptic and not an autistic person, but this is damn fucking close. Oh boy, that got me emotional. That truly got me emotional because it hits so hard. PewDiePie Bohart video and audio editor. Autism doesn't come with a manual. It comes with a parent that never gives up. Same thing with my epilepsy. Exactly. Because when we found out that I had epilepsy, my parents quickly found out epilepsy isn't something that comes with a manual. It's something you gotta learn to deal with. And there's no way out.
With performances by Scribbler, myself, and my friend, Sparrow 9462.
9462.
Since April is Autism Awareness, I thought that this would be the perfect time to release this fanfic reading.
Perfect background music
I
too,
hope
by the
you
way.
all enjoyed this story as much as I did.
I did.
I've been wanting to do a reading of this for a long time. It has a personal ring to me because both my sister and I were diagnosed with autism.
And
at an
everybody,
early age.
please listen to this.
I have high-functioning autism, and my younger sister is low-functioning. She can't communicate verbally.
So high functioning is
She makes a
where
lot of
you're more
noises in which
outgoing,
my family
and
and I had to learn over many years what
that's
each
where you're
one
more
meant.
outgoing and more productive, I guess.
As for me, it was still and still is a learning process. Because there are plenty of times where I will come into a situation socially that I haven't dealt with before, and that I still need assistance to get past. When I was very small, I didn't like having people too close to me. My parents took me out constantly to get me used to being around other kids. And eventually, over time, with my parents' help and my teachers, I've slowly gotten better at it.
Wow.
However, even to this day,
That story,
I'm
like,
still
really is
uncomfortable being around a large
100%
crowd of
legit.
people by myself.
Like, it matches her autism very
This
well.
is a lifelong challenge that I must continue to go through.
Exactly.
There is no cure for autism.
Same with epilepsy.
I feel my setbacks are nothing compared to what my sister goes through. I would like to speak for people in general who have autism, especially for those who can't speak for themselves. I came across this story about 3 years ago on Fanfiction, after a very stressful time period in my life. My family had to make a very tough decision having to do with my sister. We had to put her into a residence for disabled adults.
Oh, man.
It was almost impossible to deal with my sister. Unfortunately, her autism got the best of her, and we could no longer keep her safe, no matter what we did.
You gotta do what's
When I
right.
first read
What's best
this
for the
story,
person.
it really touched me in a way that no story in this community has before. I think I got in contact with Miss Koifish Pony not long after I read her story, and she had told me that she also has autism, and she had written it from her own experiences. It's really comforting
matches
to know
your
that
description
there are
very
a few people
well.
out there who do know what it's like to have
Like,
someone with
hits
that
home.
disability and or having it themselves. However, there are still quite a lot of people that don't know. I would like people to be aware not only this month, but every day, that there
Yep.
are a growing number of people with autism out there.
Yep.
You can't tell by looking at a person if they have autism. Autism isn't something that
Same
is
thing
visibly
with
seen.
epilepsy.
It's not a crippling disease or something that you can catch from somebody. It's a learning disability that people are born with. Don't be quick to assume that someone with autism is crazy or unhinged. Every person with autism is different. Not all of them are the same. Just because someone asks you a random question out of the blue, acts strange, makes strange noises, seems overly excited, or acts younger than they appear, doesn't mean they're crazy. They may be autistic. It is important for people to realize that autism is a real and growing problem
God damn
that
it.
should have a lot more awareness and attention than what it's been getting. I'm
Yep.
hoping by writing this that I am reaching out to as many people as I can, so maybe one day we can make a difference together. Thank you all for listening. I'm Ribon Chan, and I'll see you guys later.
You have my full support, Ribon. You do. This hit, almost every sentence that she said hits home for me. 110% it does. Like, I can't express how much that story hits home. I mean, it's not exactly, but it's close. Very. This is going to be a long commentary. Just waiting for the video to end. Alright, that was Comfort Zones. Autism Awareness Special Reading by Ribon Chan. All I can say is, wow. That was emotional and very hard for me to listen to, but I may not be autistic, but I have the sister disability, epilepsy. You do not understand how hard this hits home for me. Let me take you guys back in time and tell you a little bit about myself. When I was born, I had to be pulled out with like a vacuum kind of thing because my mom couldn't push me out all the way. So I know exactly how I got my epilepsy. Seeing right there is where those abnormalities are in my head. It's in the vision tract, so it's impossible to get to them. If you don't know what abnormalities are, they're basically dead brain tissue. But basically, they had to put a vacuum right where they're located, and I believe the suction was too much. And when you're born, your brain is not fully developed, so the tissue is it's fragile. So when they pulled me out, I think the suction was just enough to pull brain tissue loose, and now they're there. As a kid, I was heavily unsocial, still am to this day. But I never talked to anybody. I was in my own little world, did my own thing. I was never relying on anybody else to do crap for me, unless it was absolutely necessary. Over time, I started to see signs. Like the first sign that I had something wrong with me hit, I believe it was just around probably about 8 years old, when I was playing baseball with some kids and my sister, and the ball was hit right in my direction. It was right at my feet, and all of a sudden the world just went like, it went like all negative effect on me, and I couldn't see the ball. I was completely lost in transition, couldn't think, couldn't do anything. I could hear them yelling at me, but I couldn't see anything. So when I came out of it, I was tired, I was confused, and I looked down and the ball's right there, literally not even an inch from my shoe. And it's crazy. The next instance was when I moved where I am now. My sister was out at the... Oh my God, that's hard for me to say. I was out by the trampoline. And right as I was going to get on, I fell into a convulsive seizure. My sister didn't know it at the time. I fell to the ground and was convulsing out of control. The one where I couldn't see the baseball was what they call a grand mal. A grand mal is not as bad as a convulsive, but it's no less. It's dangerous. Convulsive is where you're shaking uncontrollably and you seem like you're going to die. So that happened. Then the next day, still remember it, October 30th, 2005, around 9:30 in the morning. We were putting baseball, football cards into a binder, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I'm gone. And all I remember from this entire thing, I don't remember falling to my dad's arms, stiff as a board, shaking uncontrollably. I remember being on like this narrow path in like this cold world where this cold breeze was just blowing, and it was black, the road was blue, and I was walking and I was freezing to death. I felt like I was going to fall, and eventually the road did crumble and I started to fall, but that's when I came out of the seizure. And I was looking at my parents, I was tired, I was exhausted, because when you convulse, your muscles are at work. So you are doing like a workout, but not a good one. So your body is tired when you come out of it, and you are absolutely confused. So I'm looking at my parents, and my mom is just completely in terror. Like, she's scared to death on what the freak happened. She's crying. My sister's there. She's calm. My dad's holding me in his arms. And we go to the freaking hospital, and they do a CAT scan on me. Or not a CAT scan, oh God, what do they call it? Shit. I can't remember. I believe it's another thing like a CAT scan, but it's a little different. It's where they monitor your brain. I can't remember what they call it. But basically they take pictures of your brain and they monitor your brain activity. They found the abnormalities and they diagnosed me with epilepsy. The doctor tried to hide it from me, but I remember very clearly. He has epilepsy. From there forward, it was a rising battle. I took medications, went through so many different medications, had rash, and it was so hard to get on the right one because either one would make me throw up or one would make me develop a rash on my back or anywhere for that matter. It's a tough battle. And same thing with autism. I don't know autism fully. I know there's many, many different types. It's like what Ribon said. There's a high performance or something like that, and low performance. I am so sorry what happened to you, Ribon. I'm so sorry that your sister had to be put in a place that you don't really know about, but I hope she's doing much better now. I pray to the Lord she's doing much better. It is horrifying when you have something that you can't control. But I've had this epilepsy for about 14 years now. Well, from when I've had all my life, but when it showed up its ugly face, I was 11 years old. So I basically went from normal teenager to disabled person. It was rough. Between the bullying and between everything else, nearly committing suicide, going to therapy, it's been a rough battle. And, oh God. But onto autism. There's so many different types, and types that probably haven't even been discovered yet. It's like my epilepsy. When I was diagnosed with occipital epilepsy, which is in the vision tract, the doctors had no records of it. They said it is so rare that it has never been documented. So it was a new type that was very, very rare, but was hardly discovered. So there's probably different types of autism out there that are totally, totally different that haven't even been diagnosed yet. I pray to the Lord that you continue to battle this fight. You continue to pursue this battle, Ribon. It's a learning process, but it's worth it. You learn so much. You become a better person. You become someone you never thought you could be. It's tough, yes, but it is worth it in the end. I mean, how you saw me, you guys. You saw me doing this kind of thing. That means it hits home for me. There's so many different types. It's something we can't control. It's something we have to deal with. There's no escape. There's no cure. It's a battle. Something that you need to battle constantly and have the courage to fight in order to even keep pursuing it. It's tough. Ribon, I pray to the Lord your sister gets better. I pray to the Lord that your autism, you continue to fight it and learn more about it. Because you're an amazing person, you're a talented voice actor, and like I said about your narration, has potential, but we need to work a little bit on it. You are an amazing person. Your sister is an amazing person. I have so many friends with autism. It is unbelievable. There's only one person that I am friends with that has epilepsy, and that's Thomas Medham. He has I think it's parental epilepsy because it's in the parental lobe. And his epilepsy is the exact opposite of mine. And he always asks me for advice. And I can't give him any. And that makes me sad because I want to give him that. But I can't because his is totally different from mine. How his works is, unlike mine where I have warnings that a cluster is going to hit, basically his is like this. I'm just gonna strike out of nowhere and not give you a warning at all. Like when he told me a story that he was on a bus and then all of a sudden he wakes up on a park bench and he'd had a seizure. How did he get from a bus to a bus bench without getting hit by a car or anything? Higher power was watching him. This has been a fantastic reading. I can't express how much this hits home for me. The fact that the filly gets easily oppressed, or not oppressed, but troubled due to big crowds crowding her. I have been in that situation multiple times. I don't like being around big crowds. I like just being by myself. To this day, I still like being by myself. I don't like to be around others, but I'm trying and trying to get to a point where I start to associate with others. I can do this. I just need to put effort into it and just give myself that push. That's the thing with any disability. You have to push yourself in order to combat it. It's hard, but you can do it. To anybody with autism, epilepsy, ADD, anything, any sort of disability, keep fighting. You can do it. You can do it. You just have to keep fighting. You can do it, but only if you keep up the fight. Anyways, this commentary has gone way too long, but thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more, and hit that bell icon if you want to see every upload that I do, because you need to hit that bell icon because YouTube is all wonky right now. Leave a like. Go subscribe to Ribon. She's a fantastic person, fantastic content creator. And yeah, subscribe to my channel if you enjoy what I do. If you enjoy content like this, I do readings and I do reactions. So thank you guys for tuning in. And if you are disabled, know that you are not alone. You are 100%, you have support. You are not alone. I'll support you. Anybody will support you. You just got to keep fighting. Don't ever give up the fight. Don't ever let that disability take you. You take it. So thank you guys for watching, and happy horse until the next reaction. Take care. And remember to stay safe.